So now that the roof raise has been mostly done, did some cleanup, stacked up some of that wire, raised up the coolant hose. Yeah, none of that is really that big of a deal, but if you're going to work on the floor, it's kind of a big deal. So those not in the know, you've got a metal floor inside of the school bus, a steel floor, and on top of that you'll have plywood and then this rubberized coating. All of that stuff is screwed and bolted down to the floor. So I've got several hundred holes. I didn't count them, but trust me, there are a bunch of them underneath there. When you raise up the plywood, find out how much rust you have. I was fortunate. I didn't have a lot of rust, but I definitely had some that needed to be taken care of. Had a few spots where you could see that it had worn through the floor. So I'm going to patch those up with some pieces of scrap metal, weld those into place. But as far as all these other smaller holes for the bolts and everything else, I've got a different plan in mind. But before I tell you about that plan, I got to give this little guy some props. This is the thing right here. This little Chicago Electric garage sale $9 angle grinder is what got me through the bulk of it. Yeah, bad technique using my Metabo at first. Put that thing in the shop, and so I was forced to use the little guy, and the little guy got me from about here all the way down at the end. And because I had to revise my technique, we went back over some of this stuff to clean up that too. So yeah, better technique, and you can make a normal cheaper tool last a lot longer than a big expensive one. So now that that has been taken care of, all the loose rust taken off, vacuumed up, cleaned up some, the next phases come into play. So I'm going to treat this floor with this phosphoric acid stuff. And yeah, it's not good for skin, eyes, breathing, none of that. And so I've got all the PPE that I'm going to work on that stuff, rollering it out. Took a little tip from one guy that spent a lot of time with the brush for the smaller spaces. And then after that dries, cleans out, then I'm going to get some sheet metal and weld that into place in some of these larger holes that are there. The smaller holes I'm going to take care of in a different kind of a way too. Seeing as I'm a fan of infomercials, and well, they never lie to us, so I thought I'd give this stuff a try. All the smaller holes I'll cover up with this flex tape stuff. The underside I'll hit the flex paste, and then I'll paint over all of it with this rubberized Flex Seal paint stuff. Now that should protect all the metal from the inside anyway, from water, moisture, that kind of stuff getting down to the metal. But then another buddy suggested something else. This stuff is called ice and water. It's for roofing, and it's this roll-out tar-based kind of a thing, and it's got a sticky side to it, so that sticky side is going to be stuck to that rubberized paint. No moisture should get between these things, but if any moisture does, it's got nowhere to go. It's not going to affect anything. Now there are two reasons why I'm deciding to use this ice and water junk, and one is to be a sound barrier. I really don't like noise of any kind, especially road noise, and so this should be a sound barrier for that. But more importantly, if any punctures happen, if any of those other openings should occur, this tar-based substance should fill in all those cracks and holes and keeping it all nice and secure. So after that stuff happens, then I can focus on the actual floor. The floor that I'm going to put in anyway, which I'm going to do 2x2 studs, insulation, cover it up with that other underlayment that's a sound barrier because, well, I hate road noise and all that other stuff that's out there. And that would be my floor.
In his castle, made of sand, meticulously built by hand. No one comes tide comes sweeping in. Stickiness of blood is the only thing he feels, is the only thing that's real. Time it flies and dies away, there ain't nothing left to say. Flies and dies away, and I will sit with you and wait anyway. Returns to the sea, all that's left in memories inside the ruins of the man. Nothing ruins his plans. Through the water and the mud, the stickiness of blood is the only thing he feels, is the only thing that's real.